Hi, everyone. Am I audible, guys? Can someone confirm?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
So good day to you all, and especially for the India folks. I know it's a late evening, so good evening to you all. I hope you all are doing great today.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Very good evening. Thanks for joining the sessions. I just need your help. Oppo, can you just tell me your name so I can rename yourself? I know you're waiting since long, and thanks for your waiting. I can see you joined bit early. May I know your name, please?
Rohit.
Rohit. Thanks, Rohit, for joining the session.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. From where you are, Rohit? Rohit, from which city you join?
Hello, sorry, sir.
From which city you joined the session?
Sir, Delhi.
Oh, Delhi, Delhi. Which area?
Shadra, sir.
Okay, good, good. Thank you so much for coming in the session.
Welcome, sir.
Oh, all right. Let me share my screen. And I hope it's visible to everyone. Okay. Good. Thanks, guys, for joining this session and welcome you all in the GuiNet Technologies. And this is another very, energetic session we are going to have today about the FortiGate, right? So today we'll try to understand more basics. Likewise, we understand in the firewall session, like how the firewall is going to work, how the FortiGate is going to look like, how the other firewall is going to look like. We just tried to have a discussion in the previous session, but we continue from the zero level, right? Still, we not started the modules. So I'll more focus on the basics. And once you have the very good basic understanding about the product, probably I believe you can make them an advanced level of learning. But if your foundation is not very strong, you are lagging somehow in the foundations. So you are going to be always a struggle and you're going to be always in problem in a future. So my role is to just give a ground reality how actual problem is going to be happen and then how you're going to solve those problems, especially in the routing switching, especially in the SD-WAN technologies, cloud security and network security that we are talking about, the Palo Alto firewall, FortiGate firewall, checkpoint firewall, Cisco ASA firewall. So being instructor, I can understand there is a lot of phobia about the firewalls. People are very, always having a less confident about the firewall. They are good in the routing switching, but they are less confident means they think like firewall is something alien. I cannot learn about it. But don't worry, I'll make your life easy. One thing you have to take a note, and trust me, this is my personal observation, and it is going to be 100% true. Especially for those folks who coming from the routing switching background. Let me tell you some myth, right? Wrong myth. So when I was an engineer and I was the basically the network engineer, right? So I invested a lot of on the CCNA. I invested a lot of on the CCNP and cleared my CCI as well, right? So this all journey was so beautiful and we did a lot of hard work, right? To learn CCNA, we learned the wireless as well, right? We learned the data centers as well. We learned about the ACI as well, SD-WAN as well. So we put a lot of efforts, right, to gain this networking level of knowledge. And always having a dilemma, if I go in the security, I can't understand, right? Or might be I will face some problem. And I very closely work with the, security folks who are working in the SOC, right? Cyber security. And always we having a problem. Probably I'll be not able to do that. But after completing my 6, 7 of year of journey, right? Of my like officially whatever the work I was doing there in implementation, migration, support, consultant role, right? I got an opportunity to learn about the very first time about the firewall. Vivo, may I know your name, please? Vivo, you joined that. May I know your name? Vivo 2168. Naam bata dijiye. I'll just rename you.
Siddharam.
Sorry?
Siddharam.
Siddharaman. Okay. Okay. So then I realized the energy, the time we invested in the networking, that's the basic, right? If I 50% time and energy invest on the firewall, I'll be going to be champion. Trust me. This is my observation. You can just learn and think about this. Means if you start learning the firewalls and you coming from the network background, especially if you've done the CCNA and CCNP, if you have the good knowledge and you are planning to learn about the firewall, trust me, it's going to be your cakewalk, right? You can easily understand everything about the firewall. Because why? Because in the firewall also we have some basic concept, like you can understand how routing is going to be happen. Especially you are going to configure the static routing, right? You are going to configure the BGP. You are going to configure the OSPF, RIP also. EIGRP not supported for the any leading firewall, especially for the Palo Alto, FortiGate, Checkpoint. Suppose if you talk about, they not supported. Cisco support EIGRP because there is their own protocol. Later on they make it the open protocols. So these is still, and even my course, when I complete my Palo, right? I start my FortiGate, which you guys are enroll yourself, right? We do the entire deep dive of this static route BGP. It's part of the course syllabus. You can see here in this section, you are going to learn how the RIP is going to be configured, how the OSPF is going to be configured, how the BGP is going to be configured, and most important thing might be you are always going to be a struggle. It's the redistribution. Means redistribution means how BGP route going to redistribute in the OSPF. OSPF, how it is going to redistribute in the BGP. How we can inject default route like E1, E2 route. So these are the advanced routing. Probably you are going to always get in this FortiGate, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, and Cisco ASA. So that's the key thing. It's come from as a inheritance from your networking knowledge. That is CCNA and CCNP. That's why I keep saying if you're coming from networking background, your life is always going to be easy. Apart from that, what else? You are going to understand how we can do the inter-VLAN routing, right? You might be know about that inter-VLAN routing on a stick, router on a stick, right? Or routing on a stick. So this is also part how VLAN is going to be configured. Even you can see in the R labs. In this labs, you are going to understand the multi-VLAN labs. Here you can see how we can generate the VLAN, how we can create the VLAN 10, 20, and then FortiGate and Palo Alto, how they are going to make them communications, how we can get the layer 2 interfaces, how we get the layer 3 interfaces. Those also part of the course content. So that's why the one thing you always going to get an edge. Apart from that, in any firewalls, you're going to get very new thing that is going to transform your career. That is going to give the, very good career progress in a future. What is that? That is the advanced concept of the firewall, right? What is the advanced concept of the firewall? Let me write it here. Very first thing, you have to understand how to create the policy. And trust me, if someone know how to work on the ACL, they can easily understand how to work on the policy. Because policy is the big brother of the ACL. Let me write it. Policy
ना
is
बाबू उसको ना लपेटो.
Alind, please mute. Big brother of ACL. ACL is access control list. So if you're coming from the networking background, if you know the ACLs, you can easily understand the policy. And 90% work you're going to work on the policy. 90% firewall work. So you can think your routing is there, your switching is there, your ACL is there, which big brother policy is there. So what is the fear about that? Now after that, you are going to learn about the NAT. That NAT also you learn in the networking. You must have done the NAT, how to do the source NAT. Sometime you might be have understand how to do the DNAT. You might be have done on the PAD, port address translation. You must be have learned in your networking domain. So that is also there. So this is again part of the 90%. So that's why I'm keep saying, if you're coming from the networking background, you know the NAT concept, you know the ACLs, you know the routing switching, then
सर एक सर एक क्वेश्चन था बस
yes, Satya, please
एक्चुअली
go
थोड़ा
ahead.
लेट मैं ज्वाइन किया था मुझे बस ये पूछना था ये देख के मुझे लग रहा है कि क्या इसके फायरवॉल के लिए अब पहले सीसीएनए एनपी की वास्ट नॉलेज होना जरूरी है
I'm coming to on this, Satya. Just let me conclude, okay? I'll explain like what kind of knowledge is going to be required. We'll start quickly on that also. Just allow me 5 minutes, okay? Let me conclude, then we'll come to that point. So NAT pad is also there, right? So that is also going to add additional. And these are all the part of CCNA. If you go in CCNA syllabus, you're going to find ACLs, NAT, PAD, everything, DSCP, DNS. You're going to find about the like subnetting, right? OSPF configuration, static route configuration, RIP configuration. RIP is outdated, not going to use anywhere, but yes, you're definitely going to find that. What advanced you are going to get? These are the common things. Might be you have the idea. Advanced things. That is the next generation firewall feature that you are going to get. How to do the content filtering. How to do the virus filtering, right? How to do the vulnerability, right? How to do the DOS attack. Let me show you instead of writing everything. So we are going to find the advanced topics, that is the security profiles, right? How to create the antivirus profile, how to create the web filtering. Web means any website you are accessing. How to do the URL filtering, that is also part. How you can control the application for your company, right? How to do the intrusion preventions, means real-time advanced threat preventions, how you can do that. Inspection mode, next generation firewall mode, and see NAT is different type of NATs also. So it looks very similar, but yes, definitely you're going to get more insight, new concept which might be not part of your CCNA journey or CCNP journey or CCI journey. That's why firewall is work a little bit differently. In addition of that, you are going to understand more about the real use case. Let's suppose you're working in the offices, your AD is going to be integrated with the firewalls. And based on that AD, how you can just do the control of your traffic. That is also going to part of this course. Then you're going to understand virtual domain, how it is going to be split. Means one bigger firewall, if you want to split in the multiple smaller firewall, single firewall, and you want to make a 4 firewall, it's a physical firewall like the VRF, then how it is going to be happen? Firewall A, firewall B, firewall C, and firewall D. So this all we are going to understand, and similarly, these are the small topic we'll cover: layer 2 deployment, virtual wire pairing, transparent mode, software switch, SNMP, backup restore configuration, and then we have the IPsec VPN. So this is something also you might be learned in the CCNA or CCNP, but even you don't know about that, I'll make sure how my phase 1 tunnel is going to be created. There are a lot of theory is going to be covered. So we'll understand how my phase 1 tunnel is going to be created, how my phase 2 tunnel is going to be created, why phase 1, why phase 2, what is my control tunnel, what is my data tunnel. The data tunnel can be created in the phase 1 or only the phase 2, that we have to understand. And most important, are these are going to be very unique for the any packet, or it is going to be interdependent for the any traffic which is going to process the phase 1 and phase 2. So we have to make sure that all is going to be understand what is the 6 packet exchange, what is the 3 packet exchange, what is the mode, that we'll understand. And then we understand the Forti client and everything, and most important, the high availability. So we will do the high availability on the real devices and the virtual devices both, right? So you can see even on the R production, can you mute guys? Grace, please mute yourself. In production, let me show you one of the best examples. So if I'm going to log in my real Palo Alto, we just build the HA today, and we'll make the another HA for the FortiGate for you guys, because Palo Alto session is running on. So I just covered this session today only for the audience. So let me show you. Similar, we'll build the actual HA for you all, right? So you guys also understand how the actual HA is going to build. So this is the real device actually where I'm logging, and this is the actual FortiGate real device also. So we'll do the configuration today. We'll understand. I'm just giving the brief idea, but I'll start the actual topic discussion also after taking one questions for the prerequisite. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so you can see here, this is the one of Palo Alto device, and this is the Palo Alto My A20 firewall, right? And this is another Palo Alto A20 firewall. Similar, we have the FortiGate actual hardwares, and I'll show you the live how the cable is going to connect it, right? So in this, we're not using any virtual things. Everything is the physicals. You can see there is no interfaces has been assigned for the HA. Else, if you have the virtual lab, you have to do the HA interface. But no, we are doing the actual HA on the based on the HA port, HA1 and HA2. See, dedicated HA ports. That's always come in the your firewalls, right? When you're going to purchase that, there is no virtual concept. And you can see my HA is working. This firewall is active, and this firewall is passive. And based on that, I can processing live traffic for the company network. Similar way, we will build the HA for the FortiF. This is also FortiGate Firewall, and that also managed by the FortiManager. So we'll do that, how the step-by-step configuration is going to be happen, and how HA is going to build, and how we can onboard the HA devices on the FortiManager for further policy creation, NAT creation, routing. So everything will do that, right? Now coming back to the questions which was asked by the one of the great engineer, like there is a prerequisite to go for the this Palo Alto firewall. Yes, there is a prerequisite. I always repeat in my session. If you have not done the CCNA level of knowledge, means if you have not done the CCNA or not having a networking fundamental, again, I'm repeating. Do not plan my any firewall session. If someone is asking money for just for the admissions, don't take admissions. I bluntly saying this. We are not here to make money, okay? We are here to help you in the right direction. You must have to do basic understanding. You must have this level of understanding. What is VLAN? What is a static route, right? What is the subnets? Means IP addressing range. If you have that much basic knowledge, you can understand the firewalls, right? If you don't have that much knowledge, you're directly going to the firewall, it's going to waste of your time, waste of your money. So any institute, anywhere somebody is going to teaching you, don't go in the trap. Always brush up your CCNA. It's like your life savior. It is always going to, even you are going to just do in your life CCNA and you want to just earn 30-40,000 and you are happy with this particular salary in INR, I'm talking about somebody in the USA, just ignore it. So if you want to earn 30,000 per month, 40,000 per month, right? Based on the CCNA, or might be the 50,000 per month in the CCNA, you can easily earn, but you cannot grow more than that based on CCNA. You must have to learn something new. So initial job you can get, but if you want to grow in your career, you have to go in the CCNP, or you have to move on the firewall technology. This is how your career is going to be designed. Is it clear to everyone? Everyone
Yes, sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So let's start our sessions. Okay. And we'll start with the very basic concept, the initial dashboard of the Palo Alto firewall. We'll discuss about the malwares, technology, about the FortiGate. We'll discuss later on. Don't worry about that. But when you start your learning very first time with the FortiGate, so what is the FortiGate? Let me just quickly cover it, and then we can back to the actual chapter. So if you go for the FortiGate firewall, so you are going to get this kind of the images for the FortiGate firewall. So this firewall can be the virtual firewall. Let me show you. This firewall can be physical firewall, FortiGate firewall. Let's suppose you want to see the image of any firewall like 40F, right? Very small firewall, very beautiful firewall, 40F. See, this is the one of the firewall. Most of the time, you guys are going to do the lab on this firewall. See, this is the firewall. So this firewall is going to look like in this way. If you're going to the license, so this is the front view and this is the back view. So you can see in this firewall, very small firewall, basic firewall. We have the bigger firewall also. I'm going to show you. You have this power supply code. This is the power. So you have to connect the power from this port. Power port. Clear? This is a USB, means you want to do any kind of the file transfer, like you want to copy the iOS, you want to copy any kind of the file license, you can do via this USB port. We have the console port, means if you want to take the console of the firewalls, you require the console cable. And via this console cable, you have to connect your PC and you have to make them USB, and here is the RJ45 is going to be connected. I will show you the live how to take the console of the firewall because we have the physical firewall. So we'll have the one session next week and we'll see how to do the console access of the FortiGate firewall. On the camera, I will show everything. My lab technician is going to show on the camera and I'll just explain how he is connecting every ports, right? We have done the same session on the FortiGate, in our Palo Alto file. Let me show you. If you have the understanding how console works, you can just go on the YouTube channel. You just search the GuiNet. And if you just go on the GuiNet, you are going to find the latest session we have done here. This is the firewall. So you're going to get actual camera-based learning in later on. So you're going to get how my firewall is going to be configured on the real time. So probably, let me show you. No, it's not there. Let me show you. It might be the which video it was. It must be there only. Why it is not there? Let me try one more time. Should be there. Should be there. I believe I missed that something. Which one was the session?
सर उसका सेपरेट वीडियो बनाया था आपने
I might be. There was no live. Okay. So
हाँ मैंने
yeah.
देखा था मैंने वो.
Okay. So might be this is not there, but definitely there is one sessions, right? You are going to find. So I was thinking it is a YouTube. They put it there, but I think they missed that or somehow it's not available. But yes, we have done the real time live sessions where we did the console basis configuration. Same thing we are going to do here. And you guys are going to get the real time learning experience, how to start the FortiGate firewall configuration, right? And we'll connect. Yes, please, Rahul.
Sir, all the video which you are doing here right now, are they uploaded on your this channel as well?
No, not all video. Only few videos, 1 or 2 videos for every batch. 3 or 4.
Because I think because this is my first class, and
Right.
I mean even I didn't do any CCNA and CCNP, but I have the basic knowledge about the topics which you have just written on your page. So if I need to brush up all the things, can I go through your videos?
Yeah, so if you really want to just learn some basic networking, so already I uploaded the CCNA. If somebody want to learn my video, just go with this video, right? You can see CCNA full course. Just go and cover this video, and it is going to change your all concept, whatever you have the concept. Let me put in the chat. It's by me only, CCNA. So you guys can just watch that. Almost it's a 9-hour video, and it's going to cover a lot about networking fundamentals. Right?
Oh, yeah, although I have the basic knowledge, but not not on the all topics.
Just go with Mohan, okay? And that's if you have the basic knowledge and you have the learning mindset, you can understand these firewalls as well. But you have to be very mindful to just do my homeworks, right? Whatever I'm homework giving, like whatever labs I'm doing right away in front of the live sessions, you have to do those labs by yourself on daily basis. Then only you're going to learn. And you have to ask me daily questions, right?
Sure.
Okay. So let's move, guys. So I was talking like about the FortiGate firewall. So you can see this is the FortiGate firewall. These are the ports, right? We can connect on these ports. Mohan, please do not write on the screen. Mohan, please, I request, please not write on the screen. This is my humble request. This is the WAN port. Mohan, you're writing again. Mohan Yadav, please not write anything. So this is something WAN port, and these are the actual LAN ports we can use. So these ports can be used for any purpose, but purposefully they create the WAN port and LAN port. We can use it. I'll explain how it is going to be configured, and they are the LED for the different purpose. This is the smallest firewall available, but if I just go and find the bigger firewall, like 200F, right? So you'll see, let me just go here and find a data set, 200F. You are going to find 200F data set, and this firewall is quite bigger.
Okay, so sir, just a small doubt. So this number denotes the size of the firewall.
Yes, but there are a different number of the different firewalls, right? So I'll show you the product matrix. What are the models type? So the smaller number is the smaller firewall. Bigger
Got
number
it.
is the bigger firewall.
Got it.
Let me show you the product matrix so you guys can understand how actually it's going to look like. Let me see if I have the product matrix. Just wait. Good question.
विशाल जी एक चीज पूछनी थी
Uh-huh.
ये फायरवॉल ये पालो इसके सॉरी फोर्टिनेट के क्या स्विच भी आते हैं क्या मार्केट में
Yes, they have the switch as well.
क्योंकि जो अभी आपने दिखाया ना शायद वो स्विच साइज का था
नहीं, this is the firewall, FortiGate firewall. हमारे कंपनी में we have this firewall same, okay? So this is not switch, this is the firewall. Look like a switch, but
क्योंकि इसमें मल्टीपल पोर्ट दिखाई दे रहे हैं ना एज ए स्विच की तरह
no, they are the only 4 port. Switch have the 24 port,
Switch
48
have
port,
many
right?
port, brother.
Yes. Switch have 28 port, 48 port. So this is just a firewall, not a like your switch. They have those switch, but not. So let me tell you guys, I was about to discuss this as well. So see, that's a good question. Initial smallest firewall is a 40F, right? Then we have the 60F, then 70F and 80F. So the more bigger you go that, you're going to find more capacity of the firewall, more speed of the firewall, 90F, 100F, 200F, 400F, right? 600F, 900F, 1000F, 1800F, 220, 2200F, and so on. So we have the lot of firewalls, lot of products. I'll cover this data sets as well. So earlier I was showing the smallest firewall, that is this one. Very basic firewall, low cost firewall. For the learning point of view, small organization, you can use that. But these are the higher end firewall, you can see. So in this firewall, you are able to see we have the multiple ports, but still it's not a switch. Okay, very much clear, right?
Hello.
Yes, Grace.
Sir, I have one question. Which firewall is mostly commonly using in all these companies?
I'm going to take your question. Allow me some time, okay?
Yes.
I will.
Yes, sir.
So which segment, which firewall is going to be used, right? So very unique thing, right? We have to take care. Just give me 1 second. So very common thing. Just give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 minute. Sorry for that. So I was talking like this firewall, you can see multiple ports here, but still not a switch. These ports can be used for the LAN and WAN connectivity. These all ports. Some are the fiber ports. These are the fiber ports. These are the copper ports, right? These again, we have the fiber ports, you can see. So total 24 ports, but they can use for the different kind of the connectivity. These are the dedicated ports. One is for the management. If you want to take the GUI access of the firewall, then you can use that. This is the HA port, right? So we'll talk about the high availability port. This is the console port. So this is for the CLI console, and this is the GUI for the management access. So both you can take, and this is the USB port again. And similar to the Palo Alto, we have the status, alarm, HA, and power. LED there. So this also going to be show what is the current health of your firewalls, right? So this is the physical view of the firewall, and exactly you have to apply this firewall in network. But might be the scenario, this firewall can be a virtual firewall that is known as a VM, right? Virtual firewall. So what is a virtual firewall? Like in the lab, this is the exactly same firewall, right? They have the all feature, but it's not a physical firewall. We use the virtual image of the firewall and we deploy in our servers. And they are going to do the exactly same work what your physical firewall can do that. Make sense? So the firewall can be a virtual, the firewall can be a hardware. But most of the time, if your branch location you have, right? If you're on branch location, right? Then you are going to use your hardware firewall. If you're on data centers, then you are going to use your hardware firewall. But when you talk about the cloud infra, like you want to connect the firewall on the Azure, you want to connect the firewall on the AWS, right? You want to connect the firewall on the GCP. So you have to deploy the virtual firewall. Inside of the virtual device, you have to deploy the firewall. You have to take the rack space and you have to deploy the firewall. You have to take the rack space, you have to deploy the firewall. So this is how it is going to happen. So nowadays, if you want to learn something, if you want to grow your career, right, you have to understand how my physical firewall can be deployed and how my virtual firewall can be deployed. What is the difference between these two deployment methods? Okay, so I will explain these all scenario as well. And we'll try to see how environment is going to be changed when you're going to deploy and what interface is going to be changed. So technically everything is going to be same, only the method of deployment is going to be different. So might be working the cloud engineer, cloud security engineer, and you have to deploy the FortiGate firewall in the cloud. So you should know how you can deploy the cloud firewall in there in the my Azure infrastructure, AWS infrastructure. So we'll talk about that as well. If you have to call the APIs, right? Let's suppose you want to talk with the firewall with the API, right? So you guys don't know what is the API, how the postman is going to call via your firewall. So if I want to talk with the firewall with the APIs, application programmable interface. So this is the postman tool that is open in the Cisco syllabus, right? So how we can do the get function, how we can do the post function, how we can do the put function, patch function, delete function, head function. So I will show that also. And even for this time of the Palo Alto, especially for the Palo Alto course, FortiGate still it's not available. But if you go for the Palo Alto, this is the mandatory course available nowadays. How to integrate your API with the Palo Alto firewall. So that's why you can see I have done the integration of my Palo Alto firewall. If I run this command, it is going to run in my firewall and it is going to give some output. See, this is the giving the key. And based on the key, it's a live firewall. If I want to send the again API, it is going to give my firewall details. See, it's giving the API detail. It's a live firewall. This is the live firewall. 39 is a live firewall. And saying the host name of the Palo Alto VM. This is my IP address. This is my subnet mask. This is my gateway. What is my uptime? See, my firewall uptime is 6 days, right? And you can see like VM number is showing that. So every detail you are finding via the API. So even you have to understand how I can talk to my firewall with the API. What is the underlay behind between these two firewall configuration? Means this firewall is my data center, but I have the just reachability with my computer, and this software is talking. I'm not talking. I'm not talking with this particular. This software is talking and getting the information. So for that also, how to talk with my Palo Alto firewall, how API is going to work, especially for the Palo Alto folks who is going to take a combo for the Palo Alto and the FortiGate, they are going to get understanding. Let me show you something very interesting. So if I go here, my training doc, probably I make few lab guide also. So see API labs. So just one is there, but you're going to find a lot of labs, right? When you want to pull system from the Palo Alto firewall, the API postman, how we can go and log into the firewall, like what I'm doing right now, what you need to disable in the postman SL, how we can generate the key, and based on that, how we can pull the information from the device based on the API request, right? So that is going to be, give your career level in the next page. When you talk to your peers, your colleagues, they find you have something different than them, right? Because you're learning something very special, which is the very niche in the market, very new in the market. That's my intention. Similarly, we'll try to explore for the FortiGate also. I'll create some API documentations and I will show you how even we can. Also, it's a part of out of syllabus. We don't have to do, but I just keep exploring new things so you can get something new from my course content, right? Now, we understand the firewall architecture. That could be software, that could be virtual, right? Means virtual and the physical. Now you guys have to understand which firewall should be.
One question is Harish here from USA.
Yes, here is.
Just 2 minutes. Huh? See, when you
Yes.
said about API, right? Let's say I'm from management background. So if
Mhm.
at all I wanted to show some kind of dashboard to my top management, so I can use this API, get those information and create a dashboard.
Yes,
through some.
yes. If,
Is it
if you have
possible?
the customized API program for your company, this is the open source, post-managed, right?
Yeah,
But
I know. I know Postman. Yeah.
if you want to buy the software from the like the different company design the customized software, right? For your
Right.
special need, right? What you want to see in the dashboard. So your that program you have to build in that particular software, you have to do
Yeah.
API calls and they will keep pulling the information in dashboard. So your management is going to see what is happening in my devices.
Yeah. So this basically the output will be in the form of a JSON or XML, right?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that okay?
XML, JSON, Python, 3 languages going.
Okay, then that's fine. Then I
Yeah.
can use Python to pull the data. That's
Yes,
fine.
yes, yes. Python is there. Also, even the Python-based scripting, how it is going to happen. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Haris.
Yeah.
So, guys, moving next. So we have to understand. Let's suppose I have the very small organization. Small organization means my company have 5 to 10 employee, right? Or you want to do some basic like filtering of the traffic. That's the 40 F is enough. If you have 15 to 20 employees, that 60 F is your FF. So similarly, if you have the small company where 100, 200 employees there, I believe these all firewall is going to work. Even not 40 F, but if you go the 80 F, if you go for the 90 F, 100 F, depend on what kind of the data you're sending, how much data you're receiving. Even your 2 employees sending the more than 25 GBs data, this is not going to enough firewall for you. So depend on you.
The timing still matters.
So Suraj, please mute. So you can see the main goal is you have to understand what is the firewall throughput. You can see means firewall throughput means if you're going to use this firewall, you cannot get more than 5 Mbps throughput, right? If you're going to use this firewall, right? IPsec means IPsec, you cannot get more than 4.4 Gbps speed. If you have requirement to get more than that, 10 Mbps speed of the IPsec tunnel, these all firewall is not going to be useful for you. See, you have to use this 90G firewall. Make sense? So basically, you have to understand the requirement. You want to get the throughput for the 800 Mbps, how many concurrent connection you want. So how this is going to be decided? Which firewall is going to be good? Let's suppose someone is going, let's suppose you're a FortiGate engineer, your manager going to ask me, can you just design me a firewall for my company? Decide me which model is going to purchase for company. How you're going to decide which is going to best for your company? Anyone, any idea? What is the basic question you're going to ask? Let's talk about designing concept point of view now.
Depend on the branch user count. So
okay, let me write here. It's a good question. So the question everyone understand again. I'm asking, let's suppose your manager asks you, my company need a FortiGate firewall. Can you help me to decide which firewall is best for my company? So what is the criteria? One is the user count. Mohan is saying user count. User count. That is the one thing. What is second thing?
Throughput. One is throughput, and second is the number of sessions they are going to use.
Throughput and session number. What else, guys?
Sir, it's deploying on a branch or it's deploying in a data
Branch.
center?
We are talking about the branch only.
Okay.
What else we are going to check here?
HA requirement are required or not?
Sorry?
High availability requirement.
Okay, high availability. That's good. What else? Any other contribution? Cost. Okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much, everyone, for your contribution. So, guys,
availability also we can see. Which
what
one is
one?
available? Availability.
Yeah, there's a
and support.
high availability is there, right?
No,
So definitely.
device availability or support we can say. Which one offer the best support?
Okay. So we are talking about the same FortiGate vendor. So I believe for every firewall they have the similar support, right?
Which is supportive for next generation firewall.
Yes, that is a next generation firewall. That's also a good point. Next gen feature, right? Next gen firewall feature, right? So that also should be there. So we have the user account, we have the throughputs, we have the session number, we have the HA count and everything. That's all relevant. But let me add few more things here, right? Whenever you want to design any company network for the branch data center, you have to think about that's how many users are going to be there. So user one is the very important parameters. After user, you have to think about what applications they are going to use, right? What kind of the application throughput, right? Again, we have to think about the application, how much bandwidth they are going to consume, right? If one application I'm going to use, how much session they are going to use, right? Again, we have to use the high availability. Cost is going to be part of that. So these are the common thing you have to think, right? And also you have to think where my application are located, right? How many VPN tunnel I need to build? Means branch to branch, you have to build the VPN tunnel also, right? Makes sense. Means you have the multiple branch, you have to make the VPN tunnel also. If you're not going to build the VPN tunnel, then how it is going to be make the side to side VPN? Side to side VPN. So this also you have to think about that. You have to think about that, how to make the client to side VPN. Means somebody is working from the remote, work from home. So how they are going to connect that network? So that also think about, does my firewall is going to support the client to side VPN as well? So these all available in your data sets. So interface means also you have to think how many interfaces I need to connect. Means how many switch I need to connect, how many router I need to connect. So you have to design your low level design. You have to very good understanding about the applications, their behaviors, users behaviors, what application they are using, your geographical deployment of a data center application, that understanding you have to know, how many IP set I need to build. If you have that much of knowledge, then only you can think which firewall is going to good for me. So if you are the bigger site, definitely you need the bigger firewall. If you have the smaller size, you have to need the smaller firewall. But most of the case, you are going to find either this range of the firewall is going to be market, or might be this range of the firewall going to market. It's a very high range of the firewall 2634, and these are going to be in the market. Clear? So these are the FortiGate products. They come with the physical. They are the physical firewall. But at the same time, if you want to purchase the virtual firewall, you are going to get below here. Is a 48. Now you have the FortiManager, which we have to discuss also. So FortiManager also, this is the FortiManager. It helps to just manage the firewall. Means centralized management tool. This FortiManager is the centralized management tool. This is the same tool. Let me show you.
साल जी ये तो 40 मैनेजर आई थिंक एसडीएन वाले कॉन्सेप्ट में आता है ना
Yes, similar. So this is my FortiManager. You can see this FortiManager single pane of glass where I can manage every devices centrally. And this is my FortiGate firewall. Where is my FortiGate firewall? This is my FortiGate firewall. So this is my hardware, and this is not my hardware. This is a virtual. So FortiManager, basically, if you're going to purchase the FortiManager, so you have to think how many firewall I have in my company that I have to manage. So if your company have only 30 firewalls, right, you just go for the 200 series of the FortiManager. If you have the company have the 4000 firewall, then you have to go 3000 G FortiManager. Yes, please ask question. Pratik, Rahul, who asking?
Yeah, me, Rahul, this side. So I have a little doubt. So this firewall is a stateful firewall, right? All the
Yes, these all are the stateful, but I'm going to talk on that. What is a stateful? What is a stateless? Okay. Okay. So you have
once again, this FortiManager is a separate tool, or maybe this is only used for getting the logs from that the router.
No,
The
it's FortiManager is a FortiManager centralized tool. This is a very high-end device where nowadays every firewall is going to manage with the FortiManagers.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sir, I just have a question. Sorry. So if we directly log in with a particular firewall IP, we directly going in that GUI, or it will redirect to the FortiManager?
See, there is two things. If I'm logging to the FortiGate firewall directly, see, let me log in, log out. So I'll go and put the IP address here. It is going to ask my firewall IP address. If I put, then it is. Pratik, please mute. So it is going to give you the warning. This firewall is a FortiManager manage. You want to log in. So if you click yes login, then you're going to log into the firewall. Make sense? But
Okay.
if you're going to put FortiManager IP here, then you're going to log in the FortiManager and still you can access the firewall from here. See, this is the same firewall which I log in here. See, this is the same name. So you can do both way. But recommended if you have the FortiManager in your company, you always have to use the FortiManager for all kind of work. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Lenovo, what is your name? You joined recently just now.
विशाल जी ये जो फोर्टी मैनेजर है एज ए रिमोट की तरह हम उसको बोल सकते हैं जैसे कि इसके थ्रू ही हम काम कर सकते हैं
Yes, इसी के थ्रू काम करना है आपको. इट्स अ FortiManager centralized tool from where we can sit and work everything. This centralized tool.
अच्छा कंसोल सेम आएगी या फिर एज ए कंसोल आएगा या फिर हम उसके
देखो ना ये this is the FortiManager console ना. We can see this is the FortiManager console and this is the firewall console. It looks very much similar, but we have the more option here and here we have the less option. Make sense?
जैसे कि हम फोर्टी मैनेजर में जाने के बाद अपने एक स्पेसिफिक उसको फायरवॉल को लॉगिन करेंगे और लॉगिन करने के बाद वो कंसोल जो आएगा हमारा.
Yes. So this is the specific firewall. I'm logging here and here is different console interface, DNS, IPAM, local. You can see everything is there. Make sense? So I'll explain, Mohit. I'll explain later on. Okay. I'll explain when we start building the onboarding process. I'll explain everything how we can do that. We'll have 2 sessions on it, 1.5 hours, and I'll explain each and everything. But before we can go and learn the FortiManager, we have to learn the FortiGate firewall. If you not have the good understanding of FortiGate firewall, if you're directly going to jump on the FortiManager, it's not going to make any sense for you.
Hello.
Yes, Mohan.
Well, currently we are accessing FortiManager with the help of their public IP. So here we are exposing our public IP to other. So is there any way to secure that access?
Yeah, there is multiple way, right? We have the IP whitelisting features. If you're exposing any IP address, you want that IP should be accessible from the certain range of the IP address that is belong to your company network. You can do that also. We have the IP whitelisting feature available. I'll explain later on how you can do the IP whitelisting. Right, Mohan?
No, my question is different. Here we are accessing FortiManager with the help of their local IP.
Right.
Right. Let's suppose our FortiManager have a public IP address and we are accessing through that public IP. So can we make any DNS binding?
Yeah, you can see you should not expose your FortiManager with the publicly. That is one thing, right?
Yeah.
You should always make your FortiManager should be reachable. How you can access? If your FortiManager belong to your company, you should access via your company network, right?
Right.
So company network, if you're going to access, there is 2 options. One is going to be LAN or one is going to be via the VPN, right? So in both way, it is going to be secure. So why you're going to put the public? You have to put in the private. Even in the LAN, you can access the private IP address without an issue. If you are the remotely working, you can connect with the VPN on this private IP address via the Forti client VPN. So you're again going to be public IP address is not going to be required, only private IP address, but it is going to reachable from the anywhere. Why you're going to expose the public IP address? You can expose the public IP address for the management point of view, but they cannot do much thing. They can try to log in, but you can put the restrictions, high level of the security on the management interface.
Proxy.
So probably they're going to be not high secure things. Yes, Mathani, you asking something? Mahant.
Hello, sir. Mahant, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
Mahant.
sir.
Yes, please.
What is a proxy firewall, sir?
We'll discuss proxy firewall. Okay, just wait for a while. Let me complete the lecture. We'll discuss on that. Okay. Now, moving back to our original questions, like original discussion, we have the FortiManager. Similarly, we have the tool. This FortiManager is the centralized tool. I hope everyone is clear. Raise me your hand. You understand why you use the FortiManager and why you use the FortiGate firewall?
Yes.
Thumbs up. I want to see everyone thumbs up. 30 people thumbs up. You understand these 2 tools, right? Okay, great. Now, the third important tool is the FortiAnalyzer. It is going to use for the centralized logging and reporting solution. Means how your network is behaving. Means any problem is happening, any logs is coming. So you can just sit on the centralized location. You can understand your logs. You can understand what is happening in my network. And based on that, you can take an actions. This again, that is not much relevant, but in case if you have any organization using the FortiAnalyzer, just let me know. We'll cover that as well. But it's not required. FortiManager is the most important. FortiGate Firewall is the most important. Now they have the FortiSIM as well for the authenticate. Different tool they have, but different FortiAP as well, FortiSwitch as well. So if you have to go in these different tools for the understanding, you can learn about. That is not part of the Palo Alto firewall syllabus. Most important, FortiClient. This is going to be part of our syllabus. This is the remote access VPN. Means if you want to access remotely, you are working from the home. You're using the like Cisco AnyConnect, right? You're accessing the global protect. Might be using. Similarly, this is a FortiClient. It's a FortiGate VPN client. If you're going to use, you can just access securely your network from the anywhere by sitting in the any location without any problem. So that's going to be FortiClient. FortiMail is not again relevant. So they have a different product, but we are going to use only 3 in our learning. That is my FortiGate Firewall. We are going to use the FortiGate Manager. And we are going to use the FortiGate Client. And these all are the real things. Means actual lab you're going to get here. Means I'll show everything in the actual labs. How it is going to configure, how it is going to make the VPNs, how it is going to be onboard the user via the all method. I hope you all agree. Clear? Now let's move to the discussion about the FortiGate. So if I talk about the FortiGate history, FortiGate was the company which was actually started in the USA, right? And the company was founded in 2000, almost 25 years ago, right? And there was two brother, Ken G and the Michael Z. They founded in 2000 and they just start the first product, that is a FortiGate physical firewall. That was the first product they launched. Physical firewall. And that company later on added the wireless, sandbox feature and many more products they launched, right? But it's become a very popular nowadays in a market. Why it's very popular? The main reason is their product is very good with low cost. Means if you compare with the FortiGate and Palo Alto is the superb firewall, premium firewall. But Palo Alto cost is very high. Palo Alto cost is very high. Just you can think about, you have to purchase the car. You just have the comparison between the Mercedes and the SUV 700 or might be the Fortuner. So Mercedes is always going to very higher cost, but Fortuner is also very good car, right? Or SUV 700 is also very good car. So you cannot like say like which one is the better, which one is the best, but definitely Mercedes, they have the on brand value, their on luxury, right? If you just go in Mercedes, you'll feel like very comfort. Similarly, FortiGate and Palo Alto both are the premium segment firewall and they're the leader in the market. But Palo Alto have the more premium features, but their cost is little bit higher side. But FortiGate always going to cost as a lower side. So that's why they have the very good market base, especially in the APAC region, especially in the Middle East region. Means India, you think about the Qatar, Dubai, like Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, they have the very good, customer base. And you can see, if I compare with the FortiGate and Palo Alto, they are almost have the great security performance, best in the market. Value for money, FortiGate, value for money, it's a greater, but Palo Alto is the good. Here's the costly. This is the only one thing where Palo Alto is lacking. Palo Alto is lacking because the cost is higher, but FortiGate cost is lower. Implementation, Palo Alto is superb. FortiGate is also superb, but little bit slightly like the user is getting like more comfortable on the Palo Alto and less comfortable on the FortiGate. Management, again Palo Alto leading. Support, Palo Alto is great. FortiGate is also less great, but they have the good support. cloud feature, almost they have the same. So if you do the apple to apple comparison, most of the case they are the same, right? Some of the case they have the different kind of the like feature, especially for the cost. Rest are the same. Similarly, you can do for the checkpoint and the Palo Alto checkpoint, Cisco and the checkpoint. You can find. This is not my research. This is the eSecurity Planet research, right? And based on that, you can just go and search your research, and you can find a lot of things are going to be there. Makes sense. And if you talk about the further about the FortiGate products, you are going to find a lot of product available in the market. Means you have the FortiGate application delivery centers, FortiGate analyzers, FortiGate VPNs, that FortiClient, FortiCNP deceptions, FortiEDR, DepSec, DDoS, DLP, FortiCloud. So you can say n number of projects. IPS, we have the FortiCarriers, FortiMonitors, Forti wireless WAN, identity management, FortiISO. Means they have the n number of products. If you want to go, you can just go and purchase that, right? And this is also sandbox available. And you can see the FortiGate is the leader of the market now. Why? Because they have the very good reputation in the market and very good customer base available in the market. That's why leader in the market. So if you're going to learn a FortiGate, you're going to get more job opportunity, my friends. Okay. So it's the good chance to start your journey in the FortiGate or Palo Alto or both. If you're learning both, you are making your career superb duper in the IT and cybersecurity industry. Now, the question always coming to us, what is difference between the stateful firewall versus stateless firewall? It is going to be always going to ask, what is the difference between the stateful firewall versus state? Can anyone tell me any difference?
विशाल जी एक क्वेश्चन है मेरे पास.
Yes, please.
जैसे कि अभी आपने 40 में गेट के मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट दिखाए थे अभी, है ना? 40 मैनेजर जो भी है. अच्छा, उसी प्रकार से क्या पालो अल्टो का भी सेम सीन है क्या?
Yes, Palo Alto have different feature, different product available in the market, similar.
Okay.
We'll discuss on that also. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain. Palo Alto also has a different product. Okay, so Ben, do you have any idea what is the stateful firewall versus stateless firewall?
Does not maintain the connection.
Yes.
Stateful firewall maintain the connection table. Stateless is not maintaining any connection table.
Okay.
And stateful provide the support up to 7 layer, and stateless provide up to 4 layer.
Good. Ben, you want to add something?
Well, I think he said it right. Stateful firewall has a kind of table that take records of source IP.
One more thing we can add: stateful firewall support next generation feature, and stateless is not support to next generation feature.
Okay. Right. Yes, so Ben, you're talking maintainers state table, right?
Genau, exactly.
And what else?
Source IP and destination IP, source ports, destination ports are recorded, so that in case the traffic is coming back, it can be checked.
What else apart from source IP, destination IP? Anything else? It check.
We can talk about MAC address, source.
Okay, source MAC.
Sir, enhance security.
Wait. Let's go one by one. Yes, source MAC, destination MAC. What else, Ben? Anything
Enhance
else?
security.
Yes, enhance
security.
Yes, Mahant. We'll talk enhance security. Oh. Let's go in the packet level. I'm talking the packet level. Ben, anything else?
Yes.
So see guys, let me help. Okay, no problem. In packets, we have a lot of informations, right? In any packet. So one is landing in the stateful and one is landing in the stateful. Understand guys, what is the key difference we have, right? So this is my IP packet. This is also IP packet. So any packet instead of IP packet, leave it any packets landing, digital packet landing in the your network. So they have the multiple informations. Okay. So might be they have the source MAC, destination MAC, source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port. They have the applications, they have the URL, they have the user details, some additional fields, and then they have the payload. That is actually your data content. Similar thing, we have the source MAC, we have the destination MAC, source IP, we have the destination IP, we have the source port, we have the destination port, we have the app, right? We have the URL, and we have some user other details, and then finally we have the payload. That is the actual data content. This is the IP packet we have both side. So this packet is going to land in the stateful firewall. Let's suppose this is the firewall, and that is the stateful firewall. And here I have another firewall, and that is a stateless firewall. So if I talk about the stateful firewall, this is my layer 2 packet, right? This is my layer 3 information. This is my layer 4 informations. This is my layer 7 information. This is my additional information, additional headers or packet detail. And finally, we have the content data. Whatever information we have, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 7, content, data, whatever we have, if this is going to hit in the firewall, everything is going to be inspect. Inspect means the firewall is going to perform the checks. And if my checks is going to be aligned with the firewall policy, means right MAC, right IP, right port, right application, right URL, right user, and right data. I'm repeating again. Right MAC, right IP, right ports, right application, right URL, right user, some other detail, right machine and all, and right data. If it is going to land in my firewall and the policy is saying, yes, you need to allow, then it is going to be processed. If not, the packet is going to be dropped by the firewall. Means every information coming from your packet that must be processed by your firewall, that is a stateful firewall. Is it clear? This is the first definitions. Give me thumbs up if everyone is clear. Write yes in chat if you understand everything clearly. Someone is going to ask, you able to define what is a stateful? Very nice. Thank you so much. If I talk about the stateless firewall, again I have the layer 2 informations. Again, they have the layer 3 information. Stateless we are talking. Again, they have the layer 4 information. Again, they have the layer 7 information, some additional field and the content. But this firewall is only going to check your layer 2, layer 3 and the layer 4.
Sir, also it's only work till extended ACL, right? Stateless.
Yes. So
Okay.
this inspection is going to happen based on the layer 2, layer 3. Means it is not going to check your layer 7, your application, URL, content. Means only MAC, IP and your port is going to be checked. Rest is never ever going to be checked. That is your stateless firewall. Is it clear? This definition is clear to everyone? You understand what packet is going to check, what packet is not going to be checked in stateful and stateless? All right, very good. Now, second difference. This is the first difference. Second difference, what is we have? Let me clear the screen because we understand this feature. So let me make the another statement. Very important informations. Again, I have the firewall, right? Let me make it the firewall diagram here. This is my firewall. This is my internet, right? Google.com. And here is my user. Let's suppose this is my user, that is the path. Okay, sitting in the LAN. His IP is anything. So this path want to access this google.com. Okay. Same scenario here we have the firewall, right? And we have the google.com, but this time this is Mr. Ben, right? He is sitting in the USA and he want to access this my firewall. So how my packet flow is going to happen between these two scenarios, stateful versus stateless? Understand carefully. So when path is going to access very first time this google.com, the firewall is going to check the policy. Means they have the policy. You have to create the policy. So very first time when the packet is going to land on the firewall, it is going to check the policy, and policy is going to check, and if it is saying yes, this connection need to be allowed to go on the internet, then it is going to be internet. If it is allowed. If it is going to say no, this connection is going to come, that need to be blocked. Let me use a different color. Let's suppose it is coming, this connection is going to come and it's showing no, it's a blocked. So it is going to block by the firewall. It will not going to the internet. So let's suppose Mr. Parth connection is going to be allowed by the policy going to the internet. At the same time, what is going to maintain here? He is going to create one of the state table. When this is the first connection, understand guys, this is my first connection of Mr. Parth. Clear? But when the second time Mr. Parth want to access the internet, the packet will not redirect to the packet will, let me use a different color. The packet is not going in the policy check. The packet is going in the state checks. And if it is going to be available in state, it is going to allow. This is my second packet. If third time it is asking again, it is going to this one. Third packet. Means very first packet, if Parth is accessing the Google, it will always go and check the policy. And based on the policy, they will create the state table. Create the state table. And based on that state table, that is going to process your packet. Yes, Surendra, please ask question. I'll take only one question. Surendra, please.
Yeah, actually, I have one doubt. I mean, how does firewall know that path is trying to access the Google, and the next time when path is accessing the same site? So, what information is still table content that helps firewall to determine
This really
the
very
decision?
good question. This I understand.
And one more concern on top of that, right? If the policy is updated, how these two things are synced, like like state table as well as a policy. Today I'm allowing, tomorrow I may not allow for him, right? In that case, how the flow will work?
Okay, so let me give the two precise answer of these two questions. Very first thing, if you are going to allow any connection from the firewall, your policy must be created. If policy is not, your by default everything is going to allow in block in the firewall. Let me show you. If you are going to log in any FortiGate firewall, right? By default everything is blocked. So you have to create the policy. Based on the policy, your connection is going to be allowed. That is the very first thing. When you create the connections to be allowed, then only your state table is going to be created. If you're not going to allow, your state table is not going to create it. So when you create, hold on. Here you go. See? So by default, we have the single policy. It's any should be not there. I created purposefully. But if you have the very new firewall, let me show you. We cannot create from here because of FortiManager, right? So only you're going to find this policy. If there is a new firewall, implicit deny. Everything is going to deny. So this is not going to allow to create any session table. The moment you create the policy, right? It will create the session list. This is session table, live session table I'm showing you. See? So this session having their timeout also. Let's suppose the traffic is not going for 3 minutes. Session is going to flush out again. It's not going to be permanent. Session is going to be there. Means it is going to be cache is going to be created. So whenever packet is going to very first time, it will create a cache and based on that create the session table. Second packet is going to come within the 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever session timeout you define for TCP. I'll show you what is the default timer as well. The packet is going to hit always the state table. But let's suppose today you send the packet and after 3 hours not sending the packet. 3 hours you're not sending that packet. Again 3 hours after you're sending the packet. So again it will check the policy and it will create the session for you. Session is not going to be permanent always. Is it answer both of the question? Policy must be there. Policy, based on the policy, only session is going to be created. Session is not going to be available forever. Session is going to be like cleared after certain time of period. That is you define. There's default timer as well. If continuous session is coming within that particular time of period, it is going to be available to allow the connection through the session table. Clear, Harish?
Yeah, thank you so much. It was very nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, so we understand how stateful firewall behave for the any packet. Clear, everyone? Any other question? Give me thumbs up. Everyone clear? Yes, please put yes in chat. Clear?
Yeah, may I know the session timeout interval time, like at what
It's
how
a
much
3 minutes
time?
by 180 seconds by default. We can customize that also, right? Okay. Now we have to put the same connection in the stateful firewall. Means stateless firewall, sorry, not a stateful firewall, a stateless firewall. Then how my packet is going to be processed? That we have to also understand. Same packet. Now, instead of path, Mr. Ben is trying to access Google, right? So in a stateless firewall, they're not having any state. They have the one table that is known as the ACL, access control list. So when the very first time Mr. Bain want to access this destination, it will come to the firewall, it will go to the ACL, and after that ACL, it will go to the destination. If the ACL is allowing the communication. If ACL is no, say no, you have to drop, then your packet is going to be denied here only. So this is the ACL. But in second time also the Ben is coming. Again, it is going to check the ACL for same packet. Third time coming, again it's going to check the ACL. 1,000 time coming, again it's going to be check the ACL. 10,000 time coming, so again check the ACL. 1 million time coming, again check the ACL. So in every transitions, ACL is always going to be hit. Without ACL hit, your packet is never ever going to be out from your firewall. That is the stateless firewall feature. Only two things you have to remember always. If you remember these two best answer, nobody is going to be, defeat you on the interview. What is a stateless? What is a stateful firewall? Is it clear, guys? आंसर कर दोगे सब लोग, राइट?
यस सर।
सर ये जो आपका एसीएल और पॉलिसी सेम चीज है ना सर?
नो, एसीएल का बिग ब्रदर है पॉलिसी. बिग ब्रदर ऑफ द एसीएल इज द पॉलिसी.
ठीक है, हम दोनों चीजों को एक ही जगह मतलब अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि
No. Your firewall never have the option stateful firewall. These are the next generation firewall. Your only one option is the policy, no ACL. But in the legacy firewall, we only one option the ACL. So now ACL has gone, policy come in a picture. Nobody is using these firewalls. Everyone is using this stateful firewalls. That is the next generation firewall.
I have one question. Means stateful firewall is called as next generation firewall, you are telling.
Right.
Okay.
ये
And one
कैसे
more.
होते हैं?
In data
हम
sheet,
one by one, please. Yes, please go ahead.
in data sheet, where there will be any point you can identify that stateful and stateless only based on this next generation, or in other point is there?
The firewall right now manufacturing, they all are the stateful firewall.
Okay.
Whatever firewall you're going to purchase in the market, as your best knowledge, you are not going to use Cisco ASA, means very good firewall. They all are the stateful firewall. stateless firewall nobody is selling nowadays in the market. Okay.
Right.
Like you can think about the Rajdoot was the motorcycle, right? In earlier in India. You can't find the Rajdoot in the market, right?
Okay.
So you're going to always find the better version. So you don't have to worry about that. By the way, you can, if when you put the request, you can always ask this firewall is, let's suppose you're going to purchase any mobile phone, right? So you find, you ask, na, this mobile phone have this camera, like a smartphone or normal phone, you ask always, right? So similarly, you can ask when you go for the purchase the firewall, is it stateful or stateless? So their data set is going to say everything.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Markin.
विशाल जी
Yes, please.
अच्छा, ये जो एससीएल है, जो राउटर होते हैं हमारे, उसमें तो हम एससीएल यूज कर सकते हैं, राइट?
राइट।
अगर इन सपोज कि हम कभी कभी फोर्टिनेट को या पालो अल्टो को एज ए राउटर यूज करते हैं, राइट? उस केस में क्या एससीएल रहेगा या नहीं रहेगा?
Yes, no ACL policy. There is no ACL configuration. Let me show you again. See?
नहीं, अगर हम उसको एज ए राउटर यूज करेंगे तब उस
तो
केस में
भी आपको you have to use the policy only. There is no ACL. There is a policy. Let me show you this Palo Alto also. Only policy. There is no ACL concept.
ओके, अगर हम राउटर वैसा यूज कर रहे हैं सिस्को का, तब हम यूज कर सकते हैं एससीएल, राइट?
Yes.
ओके।
Yes,
So
Surendra first.
can I
Surendra, just go by. Raise your hand. I'll give the chance everyone. Surendra, go ask your question, please.
Yeah, so actually I'm referring to previous slide, and I just have one small doubt. Suppose Perth is accessing Google, so the policy is applied bidirectionally, or we have to create separate policy for reverse traffic?
That's a very good
I
question.
mean,
Guys, always in both of the case, whenever you create the policy, when you have to create a policy, you have to create only one direction policy. It's a policy or ACL, just from the client to server, right? If your server is also requesting to talk to the client, right? In that case, you require the reverse policy as well. But if you're talking with the server to client, client to server, only one-way traffic is going to required. Policy is going to require. I'll discuss on that. It's a good question, Sundar. What was the second question?
Another question is the stateful firewall going to maintain a state table for destination traffic as well?
Yeah. See, this is the state table. You can see this is the means not destination traffic, but which destination you are going to land. So if you go here, get system session list. See, these are the tables, right? State table. You have the, see, this was talking 3600 seconds, right? It's going to be convert in a minute. It is going to be how much minute? You just calculate 60 minute or whatever minute. You can just customize that also. That session is going to expire in that much minute. Maximum time is 3600 minute. And this is source IP, source for destination. This is the state table. Destination NAD is happening, source NAD is happening. This is also it is going to happen.
So in that case, return traffic, firewalls is not going to maintain a state table for returning traffics, right?
No, only forward traffic. Unless, see, we have the two type of traffic. One is the client to site, right?
Okay.
And site to client. If client is initiated with the site, then this is going to maintain in the state table, right?
Correct.
And that requires the policy. If this is going to require, then again you have to create the policy. Then the state table is going to
policy.
Sai, you're right. This is a TCP session timeout, and VDOM is also going to be covered, right, in this session because we have the FortiGate firewall. This is a FortiGate, and you see this FortiGate firewall already have the VDOMs. You can see. So we'll create the VDOM on the live. Okay, Sai, clear? And thank you so much for TCP timeout reminder. Clear, Surendra? You happy with the concept?
Yes. Thank you. Got it.
What was the second one? Who raised the hand? Second one, who want to ask a question? Please ask. Because I almost discussed things. It's your turn. You ask the question, so we can take some Q&A. Mohan, please ask question.
Yeah, in this curriculum, will we cover troubleshooting and best practice?
Yes, definitely. Why not? We'll debug, packet capture, everything we'll discuss. And best practices we'll discuss how it is going to happen. Everything we'll discuss on that. Okay?
Thank
you. Sir, I just understand what you have said. So I'm just making it clear. So the stateless firewall is not used anymore. Okay, and it was previously used, and it works till extended layer that is port transport layer till layer 4, and there is no policy in that, and there is no session table. Direct means there is no cache, right?
Right,
The
right,
before we use. This is the only difference, right?
right, right. This is the only difference, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. All right, so I believe we are good for today, and I hope you guys have some kind of the value additions. So from Monday onward, we will continue the session the same time. Okay. So I would request everyone, if you've not done your enrollment, keep in touch with your representations who is just talking like academic counselor, and complete your enrollment process so you not miss any sessions. I can see multiple people are already enrolled in the session, but who not enrolled. I request, I encourage, please complete. So we will do the similar deep dive on daily basis, 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes, right? So ideal time I'll use 1 hour 15 minutes. That is the lecture time. Miss 1 hour is lecture time. I'll give the 20-30 minutes for the hour general discussion. So it is going to help others to just understand what is happening in the market, what are the questions they are going to ask. Even for the interview, you think like you want to ask, discuss some, if you go for the interview and you want to discuss something like how it can be answered better way, I can help on that as well. All right. So in next class, what we'll do that, if you have the requirement to build a lab, just let me know. I'll help you how to install. I'll give the video and all, how to install the EVNG, and we can do that. We will start with the FortiGate dashboard understanding. So don't miss this class, very important. And we'll see how initial lab is going to be configured. So I would request everyone don't miss the next class, because it's a day 0 of the FortiGate where we'll discuss how this dashboard, what section is going to be there, why it is going to different every tab I'll discuss. So it is going to be useful for you for the when you're going to just configuration, and most of the things it's very important, like policy, you can see multiple security, VPN. So you have backup, restore, how it is going to happen. And then we'll do the day 0 firewall configuration. I'll configure live configuration for the FortiGate firewall, and we'll see how I can onboard my FortiGate firewall. Let's suppose in two way I'll show you. One, I'll show you if I have the day 0 firewall. This is the day 0 firewall. So how I can onboard, how I can take the console and GUI access. And another, I'll show you the physical firewall, how can take the console and the physical. Similar in the Palo Alto, what we have done, we just replicate the same session, so you can enjoy that. Okay.
विशाल जी एक लास्ट चीज,
Yes.
जैसे कि अभी हमें पालो अल्टो में तो चलो लैब मिल जाएगी, ठीक है, तो इसमें लैब नहीं मिलती है क्या? जैसे अभी तो आप कह रहे हो कि इसमें कॉन्सेप्ट ईवीएनजी का समझाएगा, ये ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं, लैब मिलेगा. एवरीवन इज गोइंग टू गिव लैब. Lab is there. Who's in lab? Lab is there. Always going to lab is there. See, this is the FortiGate course module, and you guys are going to get a lab also. Let me show you. Don't confuse. You are going to get 24/7 labs, right? And these labs are going to be available next 2 months for everyone. Similar to Palo Alto, but in case if you want to deploy in the EVNG, I'll share the step-by-step guide how you can do that. In case if you want, some people want to do that, so I can help with that also. Okay? Clear?
दोनों टेक्नोलॉजी को विशाल जी मैंने एनरोल कर चुका हूँ उसमें पालो अल्टो में, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ दोनों टेक्नोलॉजी को अगर मैं साइमल्टेनियसली लेके चलूंगा तो ऐसा नहीं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं होगा दोनों मेरे लिए?
Most of things are going to enjoy. आपको और मजा आएगा कि most things are very similar, very closely. You're going to get apple to apple comparisons, and 70-80% things you're going to quickly understand, because Palo Alto will do the deep dive, FortiGate will do the deep dive, and you understand side by side how Palo Alto is doing in that, how FortiGate is doing that, how Palo Alto is getting policy, how FortiGate is doing that. So it's like minor effort is going to be complete both firewall knowledge. So its choice is yours. You want to do one by one, you can do that, because you already enrolled in the Palo Alto. But you want to go simultaneously, it is going to be doable. And if you want to repeat, it's absolutely fine. You can repeat to me.
No.
Okay.
So what will be the daily timing of the class?
This is going to be in India time, the 10 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. We'll keep the standard time, but sometime it is going to be 11:30, because I can understand you guys have the good questions, so I can take questions. Okay. So I never run away from the questions. So I'll give 1 hour lectures. Okay. And 20, 15 or 30 minutes will take the discussions. That's the open discussion. So everyone is going to be benefited. And that's the most important in my always lecture. So discussion must be happen. And if you're not going to do discussion, you're not going to understand. So no benefits of learning. But lecture is going to be 1 hour. And then we'll do the discussion 15, 20 minutes if you have any questions, any doubt.
And it's Monday to Friday, right, sir?
It's Monday to Friday. When we start, we'll try to go 4 days in a week. I want to give freedom to enjoy the Friday later on, but initially you just make your mind 5 days in a week, okay?
But it will complete all the NSE4, right?
Yeah, no NSE4. There is no NSE4 concept. If the FCP 40 certified professional, FortiGate certified professionals. Let me show you again certifications. If you are missing that, let me go in the Google. This is the FCP certification. There is no Fortinet certified professional. NSE4, NSE7, NSE5, they all gone. Okay, so don't ask for NSE4, NSE5. We are going to cover this one. This is a new certification. Clear?
इसमें only एक ही certification से काम चल जाएगा, right?
Yes, and only one certification because the two exam na, one is the core, one is the elective.
इसकी सर cost क्या है, क्योंकि अगर
400 for core, 200 for the elective.
$400?
Yes,
सर
$400.
एक बात पूछनी थी मुझे।
Yes.
मेरा ना नेक्स्ट मंथ से अभी FortiGate स्टार्ट होने वाला है मेरे ऑफिस में। मेरा अभी जस्ट इंक्रीमेंट हुआ है, प्रमोशन हुआ है, तो मुझे उस पे काम
What's the
करना
name?
है।
Lenovo, what's the name?
शाम।
Okay.
और मैं अभी रजिस्टर्ड करने का हूँ। ये मेरा डेमो क्लास है। मैं वही देख रहा था कि मेरा अभी नेक्स्ट मंथ से स्टार्ट होने वाला है फायरवॉल पर, तो उसके लिए कॉन्फ़िगरेशन वगैरह मेक करना है। तो कितने मंथ में ये कॉन्फ़िगरेशन वगैरह हो जाएगा?
In 1 month, you are going to cover almost 80-90% course. Okay.
Okay.
So within a 1.5 month, we are going to cover everything. This is certification, guys. So don't worry, Shah. Okay, I'll take care.
Okay.
So this is certifications. Fortinet certified professional, and the exam is core is $400 and you have to go for FortiManager $200. Total $600. You have to pay within the 2 year to get certified as the Fortinet certified professional. FortiGate and Fortinet is same. Fortinet is the company, FortiGate is the product, firewall. So you don't have to be confused. If I'm talking the Fortinet or FortiGate, it's the same thing. One is the company, one is the product.
और सर ये सर्टिफिकेशन रिन्यू करना पड़ता है?
Yes, every 3 years you have to renew.
कि जो मैं एनरोल करूंगा इसमें ये सर्टिफिकेशन फीस ऐड नहीं है ना?
नहीं, that you have to pay directly to the FortiGate. That is different.
Okay, उसका कितना फीस रहता है सर्टिफिकेशन का?
So FortiGate certification का, again I'm repeating, this is going to be $400.
Okay.
And this again you have the elective exam $200. So we are going to cover 100% this one and 100% this one. Both are going to cover. So $600 में you are going to be complete your certifications.
ये दोनों करने नीड है या एक से काम चल जाएगा?
No, you have to do both. That's why I'm covering both, na.
Okay.
I'm making you the Fortinet certified professionals, like level of the CCNP. Okay. So you can drive everything. So I'm going to
how it difference means from NSE4 to this?
NSE4 was the old examination. They terminated that and renamed the same exam with the new exam code. You remember Airtel was having the old logo and they create the new logo. Company is same, na? Just create the rebranding, right?
Okay, just rebranded.
Rebranding. The exam name has been changed. Rest are same, right? Nothing. Content is same. Something is added new thing that is the next generation features.
Okay.
Thing.
सारे कॉन्सेप्ट जो है हमारे एक ही में आ जाएगा, मींस एक ही एग्जाम में.
Yes. Only you have to do the FortiNet certified professional. There is no NSE4, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing is there. All dead. These are the new certification.
सर मैं एक CCNA प्लस रेड हैट ज्वाइन करने वाला हूँ, तो उसी में ये सब रहेगा सिलेबस?
No, Red Hat and CCNA is different, Shaw. That is totally different. Yeah, this is something firewall only. Okay. So we have the different course curriculum for the Red Hat and the CCNA.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Please let me know. Yeah, abhi hum all good.
Last question, sir. FortiGate के साथ हमें किसी अदर डोमेन का एक्सेस मिलेगा जस्ट फॉर नॉलेज और पर्पस?
You can ask any question to me, right? I will answer. That's my responsibility. But if you're registering for the Fortinet, you are going to get Fortinet resources, Fortinet lab, right?
Okay.
And Fortinet ebooks, Fortinet support, everything Fortinet. But you can ask any question with me because time is yours. You can ask anything. There is no problem. Yes, Ben, please ask.
Yeah, thank you. Is it possible to do the lab on the EVNG if it is not licensed?
If you want
Can
to
you?
if you want to build, we can do that. There is no problem. You want to build the EVNG lab?
Yes.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But just
I mean,
try.
if it is not licensed EVNG.
Sorry?
If the EVNG is not licensed, I think they have community
No,
and
no license. Even you can work on the lab. There is no problem. Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Okay.
You can
Thanks.
test most of the features. Some feature might be not work, right? But even
Okay.
there's no problem. We'll
All
talk.
right.
You just reach out to Soumya. She will guide you. Okay. We'll connect. There's
Thank
no
you.
problem. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. So thank you so much, guys. I believe it was a great interaction with you all. And thank you for your time. And again, last, I hope you get something from my side. So just enjoy your rest of the evening. See you again in the next class. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good.
Right.